We are here at the Thomas & Mack Center on the campus of UNLV covering the Gotham City Bockers. It is Rick Kamla. It is CP the franchise, and we have Coach Alston with us, lead assistant coach of this team. So, Coach, we had a practice yesterday, but I want to go back a little bit farther to conversations you had with Dr. Phil McDonald, with Dennis Scott, with Dwight Walton, bringing this thing together, and sort of the philosophies and the strategies that you guys talked about and that we'll see implemented here over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, when they first reached out, we started talking about, of course, building the roster and, just with my 15 years in the NBA and in G League as a coach, just trying to make sure our roster has some balance to it, right? So, we got some really high-level guards. We, want to get some bigs that have some size. We got some wings that are very athletic, that can defend. So, it's just really trying to fit all those pieces of the puzzle together. And then, we sat down or got on a group call and just kind of talked it through, right? And, with Doc and Dennis and then Dwight, we all just kind of chimed in, and I think our roster is actually really, really, really good.
Coach, as a New York City native, came up in the metro area. What does it mean to don that Gotham City Bockers logo?
It's pretty special. When the opportunity approached, I really jumped at it. It's exciting. Coming off what happened in New York, having grew up in the area, having worked for the Knicks for 7 years, and just seeing all how it kind of started at the bottom and how it just finished. I'm really excited about it. I thought the opportunity was great to work with Dennis. Work under Doc and with Dwight and just the players. I love giving back to those guys. And just trying to help them in their careers.
Extra motivation, wearing the orange and blue, coming off the Knicks championship and trying to rep New York and bring another championship back.
Always. When you're an East Coast guy, you grow up in New York. You got that chip on your shoulder. We like to talk, and so it's what's expected.
As an assistant coach on the staff, is there an area of focus that you're going to work with these guys on?
I'm here to support Dennis, but, of course, play development. I think, like, anytime you step on the court, you should be out there trying to get better, right? We're here, of course, to win. But I think, it's an opportunity to get better. We're on the court. We got a great gym, great facility. So I'm always there to try to help those guys get better. And then, on the defensive side, I just want to make sure because, of course, I think we're going to score because we're going to play fast. But if we can't get any stops, as Dennis mentioned, we're not going to win, right? Especially with the Elam ending, because I dealt with that coaching in the Canadian League during the summer, so I have some experience with that. So you really got to be able to, lock down, defend, and just have your principles set.
Coach Alston, how do you, take previous experience with the TBT, your knowledge of it, the culture of it, how the whistle is blown in this tournament, and apply that to this group and these Gotham City Bockers?
I mean, the biggest thing is leave the refs alone. I mean, because, we can't focus on them so much that we lose 3 possessions worrying about the referees, right? We'll let the head coach deal with them. And, I'll probably say a few things, but under my breath. But, no, it's really just focusing on, the next play and not trying to deal with the referees.
And as it relates to the journey, Coach, your journey is spanned across leagues from the NBA, multiple countries. What's your message to these players in this locker room who want to continue to pursue their dreams?
I mean, there's always an opportunity, right? So every time you get a chance to lace them up and get in front of these lights, don't take it for granted. There's always someone watching, always. I get calls constantly. I reached out to a few guys and got them this opportunity, so you just never know. Always be gracious when you talk to people, and enjoy it. We're here to work, of course. We're here to represent the Bockers, represent Dr. McDonald, but, we're here to have some fun. So that's my message always. And, and that goes for myself down to, from coaches down to the players.
Biggest area of focus after practice 1 yesterday?
Just continuity. I think, again, getting guys in better shape, but just continuity. Guys getting to know each other a little bit better, getting used to the basketball. So, so a lot of those little things that people don't really think about. They're like, oh, it's just a basketball. But, it's a different feel. Ball was slippery. It's a little softer than an NBA ball. So, it's just getting the feel, guys, getting to know each other, them getting to know us as a staff and what we want and what we demand. And I think, from day to day, that'll improve, and we'll be ready to go.
What were your earliest recollections of your battles with Dennis Scott at the NBA level?
Man, at that time, we weren't the greatest team, the Sixers, and Orlando was in their championship mode, trying to get there. And, just him shooting it, We were talking about in practice with one of the players, get a hand up, contest shots. Like, if you didn't do that with Dennis, you'd get your eyes shot out, right? So, it was just always, again, fun to compete. They had a really good team, but, it was always great to be out there competing against those type guys.
Is there a possibility of a bench tech from Coach Alston if things go haywire? Because we talked to Dennis, and he's going to be more laid back with the refs, and he's got a whole stunt if there's some bad calls. Like, might we get a bench tech?
I've watched some TBT games. It's possible. I try to stay calm, but sometimes it's just like blatant. Just like, come on, guys, we gotta protect the players, of course, and put on a good show for the fans. So you don't want a lot of fouls being called, but blatant fouls need to be handled the right way.
You coached the Westchester Knicks in the G League. I mean, what did you make of the Knicks championship run?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Just seeing, my time in New York, I was there under 3 presidents. So we went from Phil Jackson to Steve Mills to Leon Rose and maybe 6 or 7 coaches. So just to see that growth and then how, Leon and Worldwide West took the team and molded it. And, even when they came in, usually when you switch presidents, you're like, okay, my time here is over. But, they gave me 2 years there. So, I think they done a great job. And, I have Coach Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride. They came and played with me. So, I feel like I got a little part of that championship.
So let's talk about the Knicks roster for a second. Obviously, their big move. You bring back Jose, you bring back Clarkson. You bring back Shamet as well. All fantastic moves. You lose Mitchell Robinson. He got priced out, went to Boston. Cover your ears for that, CP.
Yeah.
But so I on Beyond the Surface, I said, here's the Knicks offseason plan. Jose re-signs. You re-sign Shamet at the mid-level, the $6 million, and you go get Andre Drummond, okay? Knowing that they weren't going to be able to have Mitchell Robinson. So could it be argued that Andre Drummond brings a little bit more to the wood overall than Mitchell Robinson? I don't look at that as a huge downgrade or a big buzzkill for the New York Knicks. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, Mitchell was a special player. Like what he did as far as his activity, great rim guy, and offensive rebounding. He used to do that. He does that at a high level. Now, Drummond brings, a little bit different. He has a better touch, shoots free throws a little bit better. He can shoot some threes. He's a big, strong guy. So, I think the trade-off isn't as bad as maybe some may think, And I think Drummond will bring something special to the team.
Yeah, losing Mitch to the Celtics was rough, right, Cam? Yeah. It was rough. It's tough to take. But I think when you talk about Mitchell Robinson, you talk about Deuce McBride, it's Leon Rose, Walt Perrin, their vision. Right. And in terms of them being able to find lightning in a bottle with second-round draft picks, they've had a good record. Yeah,
my time when Deuce used to come down, he wasn't playing a lot at the Knicks. It was his rookie year. He just wanted to play. He was like, Coach, whatever you want. He would go out there and defend guys 94 feet, what he does now, plus still be our carry the offensive load. So, just seeing him have this type of success right now, I'm just really proud of him.
Coach Alston, one more question from me. Was the shot making where you wanted it at practice yesterday? And if not, what needs to happen?
It wasn't. And I think, like Dennis said, guys are getting their legs a little bit, say a new ball, we'll get more shots up. Drills, competitive drills, the shooting and stuff like that. So, all that stuff takes time. I mean, I know our training camp's 8-9 days, but we got the gym. We can get in there when we need to, 3 hours. So, guys will get their work. And you'll see today it'll probably be a little bit better. Their legs will be a little heavy today, but it'll get better as the week goes on.
Well, Coach, good luck to you.
I appreciate
it's
you.
It's a pleasure to have you on.
All right.
And keep it going.
Right. Thank you.
Lead assistant coach of the Gotham City Bockers, Derrick Alston, here in Las Vegas. Go get him, Coach.
All right, let's get it.